What is up, everybody? Today we are getting nostalgic up in here. That's down. Okay. Okay. Today I'm sitting at the desk so that the chair will block the enormous pile of laundry that I have yet to fold and put away. I'm an adult. Today I figured we would cover what I believe to be very underrated films from my childhood and the childhood of, my fellow 90s children. When I was making this list, I was getting ooh shiny with all the movies that I used to watch as a kid. I was like, ooh, I want to do this one and this one and this one. To keep this video from being 3 hours long, I decided to make a criteria. It had to be a 2D animation movie. I had to have actually seen it when I was a child, so I will be excluding movies like The Secret of Nim, Secret of Kells, Swan Princess, Titan AE, Brother Bear, and Goofy Movie. I didn't see those movies until I was older, alright? Leave me alone. Ugh, the shame. They had to be ones that still made me smile as an adult, and they had to be, as far as I was concerned, not all that talked about. And they are in no particular ranking order, so it's just a list I made. Also, if you haven't seen these, spoiler warning. The first one is probably one of the more well-known, Iron Giant. Based on the book The Iron Man, written by Ted Hughes in 1968, Iron Giant is an amazing movie featuring some pretty big names, such as John Mahoney, Jennifer Aniston, Christopher McDonald, and Vin Diesel. It had great animation. It had some pretty good humor, my favorite part being the prayer scene.
Oh my God.
And one of the most tragically beautiful and heartbreaking deaths in a kid's movie.
You are who you choose to be.
I ugly cry. It does have kind of a cult not really a cult following. It's just, do you mind trucks? It does have a lot of love, kind of like the Ghibli movies, but people just don't seem to talk about it as much. So that's why I have it on the list. Next up we have The Road to El Dorado. While a pretty loved and very memeable movie, it just didn't get the praise that it really deserved. Beautiful animation, scenery, great characters, villain, not to mention music composed by Hans Zimmer and songs by Elton John. The only other animated movie that I can think of off the top of my head that had Elton freaking John was The Lion King. It also featured the great voice talents of Kevin Kline, Kenneth Branagh, who played both of these characters. Let that shit sink in. And this pirate was voiced by freaking Jigsaw Tobin Bell. What? And this baddie, Cortez, was voiced by Jim Cummings, who was the voice of our childhood. Like, take a look at this lineup. That is just scratching the surface. This man is everywhere, and you just don't know it. He's like Waldo. That was stupid. El Dorado is just an absolute gem. Colorful, vibrant, funny. It just has it all. I loved it then, and I love it now. Third on our list, we have Atlantis: The Lost Empire. This was the first of Disney's animated films to dive into the sci-fi genre. Pun mostly intended. Atlantis had a unique art style, and an even more unique and diverse group of characters. As for the culture of Atlantis, the writers and animators had to build an entire civilization based on multicultural myths of Atlantis. That's a pretty hard thing to do. The writing, the language, the aquatic-themed technology, and the perfectly cast Michael J. Fox for Milo Thatch. He is undeniably the cartoon version of Daniel Jackson from Stargate. And can we take a moment to appreciate Cole Sprouse cosplaying as Milo? Also featuring the voices of James Garner, John Mahoney, again, Phil Morris, Don Novello, Leonard Nimoy, and Jim Varney.
I got you 4 basic food groups: beans, bacon, whiskey, and lard.
And even though Milo and I almost said Milo and Otis. Even though Michael and Keita like end up together, we never see them kiss. We just feel their connection and like see their chemistry ignite throughout the movie, which is underused and just brilliant writing. Pardon. Next up, we have Treasure Planet. How could people forget about this visually stunning movie? I thought the mixture of traditional and sci-fi really worked. I liked the early 19th century style mixed with like futuristic technology. I like it when movies do that. It's like the style stayed back, but the technology went forward. The characters are relatable, and they focused on and developed the relationships between each one. Jim, the misunderstood rebel, played by Joseph Gordon-Levitt. Dr. Doppler, voiced by David Hyde Pierce, the academic who is clearly out of his comfort zone. Silver, played by Brian Murray, is excellent in both being the bad guy and having a soft spot for Jim. Like, still the leader, still the bad guy. But then when it comes down to it, he actually cares. The captain is played by Emma Thompson. She's intelligent and badass, and she knows it. A robot named Ben, played by Martin Short, and that pretty much just speaks for itself. And, of course, the adorable little Morphe. Oh, he's so cute. I just love the humor and how expressive each character is. And the action and the special effects, in my opinion, still hold up. For our fifth spot, we have Spirit, Stallion of the Cimarron, and Balto. I put these two together because I had to bend the rule with them. Spirit got its own, I guess, spin-off show called Spirit Riding Free. Balto got 2 sequels and a live-action retelling of the actual story of Togo and Seppala. Togo and his handler, Seppala, actually did most of the work. Their journey spanned, 260 miles in blizzards where Seppala couldn't see a thing, but Togo still managed to get his team to safety where they could spend the night in below freezing temperatures. We're talking, We're talking negative 30 with a gale-forced wind causing wind chill of negative 85 degrees Fahrenheit. Just, ugh. The only reason that Balto got all of the credit was because he was the one who crossed the finish line and got the medicine to the town. He only ran about 55 miles. Now that my history rant is over, let us continue. Spirit followed the life of the leader of the Cimarron herd as he gets captured by settlers and taken across the American wilderness, where he defies being broken by this asshole, voiced by the lovely James Cameron. He plays such a bad guy so well, but he's so lovely. And being domesticated by the Lakota Native Americans, and breaks himself and every other horse from being used to pull train engines, all in an attempt to get back to his herd. The thing that is so amazing about this movie is how attractive the animation is and the facial expressions. Just looking at all of their facial expressions, they don't speak. Other than Matt Damon's narration through Spirit's perspective, they don't speak, but they don't fucking have to. You know exactly what they're saying with their facial expressions, and it blows me away still to this day. And you can bet money that my ass still knows the opening narration. Speaking of which, when the original trailer came out, if you have Shrek on VHS, then it's on that movie. Yes, I still watch VHS. I really liked how the narration was done for the trailer. And I really liked that original guy's voice. I liked Matt Damon as like Spirit's voice. But when you hear this voice from the trailer and then seeing the movie and it's different and a little higher, it just kind of threw me off. It's like, I can't get the videos to upload, but like play the opening narration for the trailer and then Matt Damon's opening narration, and you'll most likely be able to tell the difference. Of course, when I'm explaining this to my boyfriend, he just looks at me like, who are you? And the movie of Balto follows the story of a dog played by Kevin Bacon, rejected by people and dogs because of his being half wolf. But disease plagues the children of Nome, and when his crush, Jenna's owner, Rosie, falls ill, and the sled team in charge of bringing the medicine home goes missing, he takes it upon himself to find them and bring them home. Accompanying him is his goose friend, Boris, played by Bob Hoskins, probably my favorite character in this whole movie.
Rambo! She's not my type.
And two polar bears, Muck and Luck, who are both voiced by Phil Collins. I kid you not, look it up on IMDb. When Balto finds the team and the musher is unconscious, Steele, played again by Jim Cummings, I love that man, Steele refuses to let Balto help and he tries to fight him off. When the team leaves without him, Steele sets up fake markers in the woods to throw him off the trail. Balto and the medicine fall over the cliff in a panic, and as he loses faith in himself, he remembers Boris's words, and he accepts his wolf heritage wholeheartedly in a scene that still gives me goosebumps.
A dog cannot make this journey alone, but maybe a wolf can.
But they take the medicine back, evading blizzards, giant icicles, and an avalanche. All the while, Steele is back, making everyone believe that everyone died and the medicine was lost. That slimy bastard rivals Scar in terms of villains, and I love how slimy and evil he is. The medicine was returned, Balto is the hero, and we learn the woman telling the story to her granddaughter was Rosie all along, played by Miriam Margolyes.
Thank you, Balto. I would have been lost without you.
And last of all, we have Bartok the Magnificent. I have never met another person who has seen this movie, unless we were in school together and you had seen this movie and I didn't know you had seen it, in which case, why weren't we talking about it? The only other person I know that has actually seen it goes by Pilaf, and she naturally wants to be Flamingo. I will leave the link to her channel in the description. She is amazing. In the opening, we have a song about a Russian folklore witch named Baba Yaga, who has iron teeth, steals children, and flies in a mortar and pestle. Then we have Bartok, played by Hank Azaria, setting up his wagon in a town square to entertain the people with stories of him defeating monsters with a catchy-ass song. That night, the prince goes missing, and the prince's advisor, Ludmilla, played by Catherine O'Hara, recruits Bartok to rescue him from Baba Yaga within the Iron Forest. Before they can enter, they have to get a key from a giant skull voiced by Tim Curry, by answering riddles. When Baba Yaga finds him, she makes him retrieve 3 things to prove he is worthy of saving the prince. First, he finds Pilaf, a cute little snake creature thingy, voiced by Jennifer Tilly. Then he heads east to find Obley, the metalworker, and retrieve his crown. The third is a magic feather that he needs to get without the use of his wings. After he succeeds, she tells him she needs something from him. He snaps at her and tells her that it's no wonder no one likes her and makes her cry. He feels terrible and cries, and thus he is worthy. She shows him that the prince has been in the tower the whole time and that she never even took him. And she gives him a potion that will make him tenfold on the outside what he is on the inside. He returns to the palace and gives everyone a lowdown of what's happened, which I guess I could have used as a lowdown of what happened throughout the whole thing. Then they go to the tower where they find the prince, and we discover Ludmilla's plan was to remove the prince and take the throne. She takes Bartok's potion and turns into a freaking dragon. He defeats her and saves the town from her fire. The songs are catchy, the characters are great, and in my opinion, definitely deserves more attention. And that is my list of movies that I think did not get enough attention. What are some movies that you didn't think got enough attention? What are some movies that you saw as a kid that you think no one else has seen? Let me know down in the comments below. Stay safe, stay sane, and I will see you guys next week. Stay fresh, cheese bags.
He'll feel that tomorrow.
I think he is feeling it now.
Ouch!
We are